how many times have you woken up from a dream and thought, what the frick was that? Maybe it was a disturbing dream or an anxious inducing dream where you wake up and you're like, your heart is racing. Maybe you're sad, just feeling overwhelmed and like, whoa, what is that? Oftentimes, as a dream interpreter, I've gotten clients that come to me because their dreams are, they fear it is something catastrophic is actually going to happen and that it's forecasting you. So first of all, I want to tell you that that is a really rare case unless you have these like already known psychic gifts that as you dream something happens. Usually they're very symbolic and that is quite rare. So if you see the dream as the symbolism behind it and what it's trying to tell you of how you're processing, then that is going to just make a lot more sense than this imaginary scenario actually happening. So in today's video, I'm going to share the top 5 common anxiety-inducing dreams that I've gotten in the past from my dream interpretation clients. And I also have a free dream guide for anxious people where I cover more dreams and reflection points for you to start interpreting your own dreams, plus the 3 steps to use your dreams to reduce anxiety at a subconscious level. So I'll leave that in the descriptions below. And let me know if you've had any of these dreams or if any other dreams that have been reoccurring happen from time to time. Leave them in the comments and I'll make a video for you. So the first one I get a lot is falling dreams. So if you've ever had those dreams where you're falling from something and you have no safety net, right? That can be scary. And this is different than the jolting feeling that you might get if you've ever had those dreams where you like stumble on something and then you fall and that wakes you up. That's called hypnagogic jerk, and it's just an involuntary muscle spasm that's happening naturally as you're falling asleep, and that in most cases, or in some cases, can wake you up. So that's a little bit different than a symbolic dream. I'm talking about here the dreams where in the dream you're falling and the dream keeps going, brings some anxiety into the night, or when you wake up, you feel that sensation. These have to do with feeling of losing control and not having a firm ground to stand on in whatever the situation is. Like feeling like you're going into something without having a safety net, really feeling out of balance or maybe even inadequate in some cases. So you can reflect on what current life situation you feel like you are not meeting expectations or like it's just slipping up and you can't find that ground firm foundation to work on that. The next dream that I've gotten is dreams of being naked in public. Now, this is showing some anxiety about being vulnerable, which is a really, could be a really troubling thing if you are wanting to share or if your subconscious is noticing that it's not feeling safe to be vulnerable and open. Maybe there is just no reason, something in your past that's creating that block or those walls around the people that are coming into your life or potential love interests, that there's a part of you that wants to be vulnerable, but it's feeling unsafe. Or maybe even fear of being judged by sharing exactly what you're going through. And I know that in my journey, I used to feel afraid of telling people that I was dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. And when it got to the point of the fear of leaving my home, that's something that I didn't want to share. I thought that it would sound ridiculous and I was really embarrassed about it. And I had a lot of dreams of being naked in public or public restrooms. So notice and reflect what you're feeling like you're too exposed on, or feeling like you don't feel ready to share, like you are wanting to fall back into putting a mask on that everything's okay so that people don't see the deeper side of you. So that's the second dream. The third dream is probably the one I get the most, and I go deeper into this in my free dream guide, which is teeth falling out. If you've ever had those dreams, I don't know if this is a Hispanic thing, but I have heard the superstitious belief that if your teeth fall out, it means that someone close to you is going to die. And if it hurts, then it was somebody closer, if there's like blood or whatever. And that's not the case in symbolic dream symbols. I'll gladly announce that. This is more about feeling insecure or anxious about speaking your truth. You know, everything about the throat chakra, if you're familiar with that, just your ability to share openly and honestly what's really on your mind. And this could even result in having a hard time saying no and setting those boundaries, which then result in taking on too many responsibilities. So the quote here that comes to mind is biting more than you can chew. If you've ever, I've heard stories of like people chipping their tooth or something if you bite onto something hard, or I'm thinking that metaphoric, having too much on your plate, too many responsibilities, and your teeth are falling out because it's just too much to handle. You're feeling overwhelmed. So these anxious dreams can reflect in the teeth falling out. And like I mentioned in my free dream guide, I go deeper into this one with other reflection points for you as well, and what to do to change the narrative between these anxiety dreams, the root cause, and how you could essentially reduce anxiety at a subconscious level with my methods. So the next one is dreaming of missing a flight or an important event. Now, on a little side note, if it's a flight specifically, or anything related to transportation, that would classify as a transportation dream, which means you're dreaming of how you're getting from point A to point B in your long life term goals. So if you are driving and you're in control, you're enjoying the scenario, even if you're the scenery, or even if you're walking, and you're just, the feeling is of calm and peace, then you know exactly where you're going and you're feeling confident in that. But in the case of missing a flight, this can appear when you fear that you have missed an opportunity. You're feeling anxious about missing an opportunity. Now, the subconscious, the way that it can express how you are processing different emotions, the anxious ones, the calming ones, all range of emotions, is that it tries to paint a scenario. So for example, if you were up for a promotion at work, or there is a love interest that suddenly ghosted or disappeared, your subconscious will share that as like, it feels like missing a flight. And that sensation of, I can't run fast enough to go through security and everything to actually catch up to a flying flight, a flying airplane, right? Mode of transportation. So it is showing you in those feelings. And if you felt anxious in the dream as you're running after it, trying to catch it, that's how it felt, like it just slipped through, or that you're not prepared for life's challenges. So you also want to see other scenarios and the other people that showed up in dreams, which reflect parts of you and everything else. It can get a bit more complex, but if you break it down symbol by symbol, I promise you will get your own interpretation, which is so much more important than a dream dictionary or even anything I can tell you. What I do in my sessions and what I teach my students in my programs is how to find your own interpretation and learn your own subconscious language, because it's going to be different than mine, than anybody else's, and you don't want to put anybody's bias on your own. So by asking thought-provoking questions and understanding based on your upbringing, your culture, and things that you're going through, what your subconscious is trying to relay with those dreams. Okay, that was a little side note. The last dream that I've gotten often was dreams of being trapped. So if you're feeling confined or unable to escape in a dream, these can reflect feelings of being overwhelmed and restricted or stuck in a difficult situation. So you want to see where you were trapped, how you felt in the dream, and if there was any problem-solving technique, which can give you some hint at how you can break free from whatever the situation is in waking life that's making you feel trapped. So these are just quick highlights of what common dreams I get. I would love to hear in the comments which ones you're getting, and definitely download my free dream guide for anxious people, where I cover the other top 5 anxiety-inducing dreams, what to do with them, what they mean, and how you can use your dreams to reduce anxiety. Now, once you know this, you really don't want to just depend on, like I said, definitely don't open a dream dictionary or Google what your dream means, because it's going to pull you further away from your own interpretation. Nobody else is living your life or has lived your life up until now and has your experiences. So that's just going to pull you further from your own interpretation. In the next video, I'm going to share some key tips to help you start interpreting your own dreams so that you can put these methods into any other dream you're having, if it's none of the ones I mentioned here in my dream guide, and get you started to becoming your own dream interpreter. I will see you in the next video.